What Bluetooth is more than a technology. It's actually a technology standard. What that means is a standard by which no matter what device you might have or what manufacturer of device might actually create that device, they will work together. The standards organization is a really interesting animal in that how a standard comes about is by companies, sometimes competing companies, coming together and working together to actually develop the technology and then making it available publicly, at least to all the members of the organization of that particular standard. To give you a point of context, we have roughly 26 board meetings per year, plus committee meetings on top of that and so forth. So we're a very, very heavy governance user type organization, and we have very strict codes of conduct, confidentiality, what can be shared or not shared during these working group sessions and board meetings and otherwise, so as to avoid any possibility of any accusation of antitrust type behavior or activity. What that means is, from a governance standpoint, that there's a whole cascading series of governance policies and methods that we use all the way from the board down into the working groups around how they operate. Previously, we had been doing our board activities and governance activities completely manually before we started with OnBoard. And so OnBoard has actually been very, very helpful. It's super important. We use it primarily at the board level for board level activities, be it board meetings, executive sessions, board committee meetings, and activities. And in terms of security, there are a couple of things that really come to mind. One is that within the application, we can actually tailor the level of access to the individual, even to the point of controlling whether a particular document can be downloaded or not downloaded. And that's super helpful. There's also a particular element that we like having to do with that. Let's say a board member or a committee member is using another device, a iPad or similar sort of Surface device, but they're using it within the OnBoard app that's available for those devices and on the phone. And if there were a breach or a situation where a device were lost, we can actually go out remotely and wipe that device. The key difference is that actually swung the needle in favor of OnBoard had to do very specifically with the interface, the aesthetic, the ease of use. The navigation was easy, it was intuitive, made the ability for new users to actually use the application ramp up very quickly, as opposed to having a months-long ramp up of skill set that sometimes is needed in other applications. Preparing for and managing the board meetings such that a heavy load of content is surfaced and available and easy to access for board members for their preparation, so that when they actually come into the board meetings, they're already informed and the discussion is really not around what is the content, but what is the organization's position and decision on that content. And so that cognitive load is in fact a large component as well, and we're able to move through a pretty rigorous agenda that has a lot of really high technological discussion items quite quickly, because of the fact that we're able to surface that early to the directors. They're able to go through it at whatever level of detail that they want, in a number of different manners, by the way, because OnBoard allows multiple ways for that director to access that content and information. And then when we're actually in the board meeting, be able to move through it promptly. So as we've gone along that journey of getting deeper and deeper into OnBoard and working with OnBoard support people all along that way, they've been highly responsive, even outside of sort of, we'll call it normal hours. When a question has come up or we're trying to do something, they've been there, and that's been really appreciated.